In today's video, we're going to be going over some of the major significant changes inside of WordPress 6.1. If you haven't upgraded yet, watch this video before you do. If you have upgraded, then use this video as kind of like a basis as to what was released. We're going to be going over the editor and the full site editing capabilities that now is built into WordPress 6.1. Let's get started. Welcome back to a new episode of DevDrawer. Today we're going to be going over how WordPress 6.1 has changed. And if you haven't upgraded yet, you may notice that it is available. Now I think it's been out for about a week. So today we're going to be kind of discussing the block editing changes that's made, as well as the full site editing that WordPress has available now. It's pretty cool. So this should be an interesting video if you are interested in learning how to use WordPress 6.1 to its fullest extent. If you already have a website out there, it may not affect what you're currently doing. If you're already using something like Elementor to do your full site editing, then it shouldn't affect what you're doing. And there is some themes that you may have installed that don't use these block editors functionalities, but this is kind of like if you're interested in the new version of WordPress and figuring out what changed, this is the video for you. Let's get started. So WordPress 6.1 is a major release. So before you update your website to 6.1, make sure you do a full backup. This is a fresh installation on my local server, so there's no updates that need to happen. It's just a straight install. I think there's only just a few pages on the front end, just some testing that I've done. But as you can see here, they have these themes that are included. This is using the 2023, the default theme for the new version of WordPress. And this theme's pretty cool. So let me go ahead and get started and kind of showing you what it can do. So if you want to, you can, once you upgrade, you can read through some of the stuff that you can do. But I'm going to go ahead and come over here to our theme editor. And inside of this editor, you'll see that there's pretty significant change as to what it looks like. But you can come over here and change up your styles. They have default styles that are built into it that make the entire site change. And you may have seen something like this inside of Elementor. So this is just something that you can do. And if you click on, let's say, this one and you hit save, now if we go back to our home page and refresh, you'll see that now it has changed the entire theme of the website. So it's pretty cool. The new default theme has these predefined styles that you can kind of start with. So it's as you can see, it's a very watered down version of WordPress. So they want you to be able to customize it as you see fit, but this gives you some pretty cool themes that you can start with inside of the 2023 overall WordPress theme. Not only does it have these themes that are built into it, so let me switch back over to this one. I'm going to save that. So not only does it have this theme built into it, but you can also change up the typography. So we can come in here and say, these are built-in fonts that you can use. So this is pretty cool. If you're wanting to customize it like out the gate using WordPress's default 2023 theme. This is just something that, it's something they added to their theme that allows you to, kind of start in a place and then you can modify it with your own custom styles. Another big change is, let's say if we go back to our dashboard, so let's leave that. And I'm going to open up one of the pages. So let's go to their default page here. I'm going to edit it. And you have your normal block editor. But what's pretty cool about it is that WordPress has offered where you can now kind of change up your list items. So you can move items up or down. You can move them in a little bit. You can move them out a little bit. And you can also do this by clicking on the WordPress logo, which right now it shows the DevDrawer logo, and I'll show you how to accomplish that in just a second. But if you click on this, not that, list view, you can actually come over here and drag and drop your list items, which is a pretty cool feature that WordPress has added. So another thing that they have added, you have this cover block here. So I'm going to go ahead and delete this block, and I'm going to add a new block here, and it's called cover block. And the new function here is that you can use the featured image that is set for the entire page. So if I click on use featured image, it's going to use that featured image that's coming from the page, and then we can just write our title or whatever we want to do to it. Another really cool thing that you can do with your images or within your block itself is they have this dimensions side. So if we come over here, we can customize the padding, and it has this neat little scroll bar that you can add padding to it, or you can make it a little bit more fine, and you can do it all at one time, or you can click over here and you can unlink them. And let's say you wanted to have padding of 10 here and 10 here, it'll give you padding of 10 on each side, or the top and the bottom, and then the right and the left would be 26 padding. So it gives you a lot more flexibility with your padding. You can also do the same thing with your margin and stuff like that. So another really cool little feature that they rolled out with this. All right, so let's go down here. I'm going to add just a let's just add an image. So I'm going to add an image here. I'm going to pick it from the media library. It's going to be the same image, but what they have here is they have a little bit more finite control over your borders. So if I come over here and I want to set a red border around it, I can say that I want those borders to be 10 pixels. And then I can also unlink it again and have more finite control over certain parts of the border. So let's say I want to have 5 pixels here and 15 pixels here and 20 pixels here. You can see that I have more control over the borders. And the same thing with the radius. So you can do, a border radius that covers the whole thing, or you can, scroll it, or you can unlink it and say you want to have 10 pixel there, 20 pixel here, 15, and let's say 30. So as you can see here, it controls the border radius. So this is another new feature that they rolled out. Also, another thing that they rolled out, let me go ahead and, yeah, sure, let's update that. So let's go back out, and we're going to go back to our editor, and I want to pull up our header. So we're going to select our header here, and now we can actually edit inside of this editor and the header. And for this header, we can change navigation menus here, which if you are used to this being underneath the appearance, it is no longer underneath the appearance. I think that's maybe a bug or something that they didn't see or notice whenever they pushed out, because it's the only way to get to this navigation currently is to go to the actual menu, and then you can manage the menus here, which brings you to your navigation menus. But if you remember, appearance used to have menus under it. So I don't know if that's something that's just missing or if this is the new way it's going to be, but either way, I think it's a little wonky at that point. But you can control your header menu navigation a little bit better. So let's say we want to add a background color to it. We can make that a red background, and we can change the text color. We can, let's say, make that a blue or an orange or yellow, gold, amber. Okay, so let's switch it back to white to make it where it's legible. And then if we had submenu navigation, we can also do the same thing here. So we can add a darker red color for the text, or a darker red here, and let's make this white text. So if we actually had a drop down navigation here, we would be able to see it a little bit better, and we can control these now. So another pretty cool little feature if you want to have a little bit more finite control over your design. So while we are in the page, so let's just click on the page now, and this is going, not there, where is it at? I want to view, where is it at? The page. Oh, wait, I'm in the templates. That's why it won't let me do it. So let's exit out of this. I'm going to go ahead and leave that. So let's go back into our page and let's edit our sample page. So some of the things that has changed is the panels over here. So previously, if you wanted to modify your permalink or your template, there was another section that was down here that you had to modify, but now it is contained up here. So we can come over here, click this, and we can change our template. We can also click this and we can change the URL to, the permalink to match a different URL. So they've kind of made this a little bit easier to use instead of having to, do your publish changes up here and then go down here and change your attributes for the page. It's all in one place now. Another cool thing on the page or post editor is if we click on this information panel, now it has a time to read. So if you have a very long blog article, it gives you the estimated time that it takes someone to read the content. Right now, there's no content on here, so as you can see, it's a 1-minute read. So if I go back over here and I open up the Hello World, so if we edit this and we click on the information, that's still nothing here. But the more words that you add to it, the longer it's going to take someone to read it, which right now it's still less than a minute because there's nothing here. But the point is, it gives you a time to read, so you can kind of estimate, instead of writing something that's going to be a wall of text that takes someone 30 minutes to read, you can provide them with more quicker snippets, something that'll take 5 or 10 minutes to read. That way you can actively engage your audience. You can actually see what WordPress's estimated time to read is going to be. So another thing, I mentioned earlier about this icon here. This is normally the WordPress logo icon. Whenever you go to click on it, it brings you back to the dashboard. And I'm just gonna open it up in the editor right now so it stays there. So if you're on the page of the post, it brings you back to the dashboard, but on the editor, it actually opens up the editor menu. But the way that you change this is normally whenever you first load the website, you're going to have the site title here. What you want to do is inside of your header, you want to add a block to it and just type in logo, and you just add your site logo here. And if you have a site logo, it'll automatically add it here. So as you can see, this matches this. So if we were to replace this, so let's just say we wanted to do this one. Now when we go to hit save this page, refresh, now we have this icon has changed to our site logo, which is pretty cool. It allows you to do some simple branding on the back end of the website that you wouldn't normally be able to do. Now, I don't know about most people, but for me, this up here can sometimes get confusing as to what this does. Like obviously this displays the list of, the groupings on the page. If you're inside of a page, it actually displays like your text block or your list items or whatever it is. But sometimes these icons can be a little bit confusing. So if you ever think that someone's gonna be confused by it, you now have the ability to go to your preferences, and you can do show button text labels, which now shows the labels of those buttons. So instead of having to kind of guesstimate what they are, you can basically just show the text on them. Also, this open list view is basically this list view that pops up out on the side. Whenever we go to reload this page, it'll automatically pop out for us, and we can kind of navigate through the website as we're building it and be able to, move things around. Actually, I just put that inside of a group in the header. So let me move that outside of that group. There we go. All right, so you can move things around inside of this list view, and that setting just allows that list view to be there all the time rather than having to click this button to make it visible. So while we're in this editor, actually, you know what? I'm going to go back to my dashboard. So let's leave that because I don't want to save it. This appearance editor is still in beta in 6.1. So there's obviously some things they're going to be doing to it. But this editor is not only for editing your pages. In previous WordPress classic themes, you had a template hierarchy. In 6.1, you were able to use this editor to create your templates rather than having to code them directly into your theme. So once you get into your editor, if you go to your, let's see, actually, I don't care about those, so I'm going to turn those off. Once you're inside of your editor, you can modify these templates. And the way that you do that is we click on this and we have these templates. So over here we have the default templates that come with this WordPress theme, but we can come over here and we can create our own. So if we wanted to create a single page template, we can click on this and it gives you examples. So we have sample page right now. So this template will be used only for the specific item chosen. So let's say if we click on our test page, now we're editing a template specifically for that page. So instead of having to create a template inside of your WordPress theme, you can build out the template here and then assign it to a certain page. Now, so we're in this page, test page template now, but we can come over here and let's say if we wanted to replace the header, we can click on this. Let's edit our header. And then we can browse all template parts and we see that we have a header and a footer. And let's go ahead and clear the customizations for our footer and our header. The clear customizations allows you to kind of go back to how the template was originally done. So I've cleared out our customization. So I'm going to go back to this test page again. And I want to show you what actually happens when you clear out the customizations. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to say dev drawer instead of powered by WordPress. And then I'm going to hit save on this and it saved that template part footer. But let's say if I made a change on here I don't like, I can click over here. Nope, not over here. Over here. And I can clear customizations and it reverts it back to the default template version of it. Now, while we're in the footer, if we had a secondary footer, so let's say if we have a different footer that's on our blog page compared to our home page, we could come over here and we can do replace footer. And then all of the templates that we have set up as a footer, we would be able to select from here and then you would just click it here. Or you can come up here and say, you know, footer 2, and it would show you whatever template name is. So it gives you a quicker way to search and find these templates. And then, you know, you find the one that you want, click on it, and then it reverts it to that one that you clicked on. So another thing that may cause concern for some people inside of WordPress is this tools site health, which has been here. But the thing that may cause concern now is this, it's loading, there it is. So page caching. So if you're not caching your website, it's going to let you know. So if you have clients that can see this site health status, then this may be something that they're concerned about. But if you're doing, you know, typical standard caching on WordPress, this will actually be a pass check. I'm doing it on a local server that doesn't have any caching, but this is a, you know, this page cache performance view is a new thing that's been added to WordPress 6.1. So you can verify whether or not a page caching plugin was detected and how it's caching the website. And once you click down here, you can view all of your past tests, which if you're doing caching correctly, then this will be moved down here to a pass test and you can actually verify that your website is being cached as it should be. And finally, I'm not going to be able to show you most of this stuff just because it's kind of like under the hood changes in WordPress 6.1. But they have an is_login function. Now you can determine if you're on a login page. The 6.1 React hooks have simplified data access. You can filter to hooks inside of your themes.json data. Your post types can now have their own starter patterns. Whenever you're going to create a post type, you can set the block patterns as like a starter for them for each time you create a new one. The fluid topography is pretty cool. So WordPress 6.1 has this fluid topography that allows you to be a little bit more responsive with your topography if you're using the 2020 theme or 2023 theme. And then also finally, classic themes now use template parts rather than creating individual files for these templates. And again, most of that can be done, most of the changes can be done through the editor on the back end of the website. So that's kind of like an overview of 6.1. I think it still has some polishing to do. I don't think it's fully there yet. So I would probably continue to use Elementor or those other solutions that are out there for your full site editing capabilities. But I think WordPress is it's coming a long way compared to how it was whenever I first started using WordPress. So if you have any comments, if you've used 6.1 and you don't like it, let me know why you don't like it. If you used it and you like it, let me know why you like it. Leave a comment below. If you like this video, if you think it was informative, give me a thumbs up. If you didn't like this video and you didn't think it was informative, tell me why you didn't think it was informative and I'll try to do better. But I think for right now, this is going to be it. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you later.